Namaste. Welcome, beautiful souls. As I have done in the past several years, I am going to be doing a reading for each tarot card of the year. And I have done several videos on how to calculate. There are some simple instructions on how to calculate your card of the year below. And I did a video a couple of days ago for the number 10. And for more information about my development of the spread I'm using this year, for more reflections on the energy of the number 10 and the wheel itself, please go to that previous video and also check the description box below, because in the description box below of each video, I have put quite a bit of content, and I've changed that for each reading so that there is a short sort of intention that I have set for each reading. And right now I'm going to be doing number 11. And I just did a quick deck change because the deck I was using had strength as number 11, was the deck I was intending to use. And I'm going to be working with the scales, with justice, with Libra for this reading. So good morning, Happy New Year, and welcome to all of you. Hello, Mary Beth. This is a reading for the number 11, this beautiful master number. And just when I think of the number 11, it just, I don't know, I really like this number. It also makes me think of the High Priestess. So sometimes when the major arcana is written in Roman numerals, the 2 of the High Priestess is written with the Roman numerals 1-1. And while that, we can also see that as a reduction, there's something kind of magical in that. And so there are a lot of threads that can be tied together in these readings. On the table, I have the wheel card, so that's going to stay on the table. And my first part of this process is to reflect on the significator itself, which is justice. To determine where it might be in this reading. Hello, Angela. Namaste. Good morning and Happy New Year. For those of you that are new, my name is Sadhana. It's lovely to see you. Hello. Welcome to this series. This is a card of the year reading for the number 11 on the 3rd day of January 2026. In the light, the brilliance of the full moon in Cancer, there is a symphony of color in the celestial energy around us. And I know that some of this is going to show up, of course, and I will address astrological connections as I am able. The deck that I'm using for this reading is Journey of the Sacred Bee by Kelly Burton. And so the first part of my reflection is to think about where Lady Justice may be. As I cut these cards, is she going to be at her home in Swords? I'm just going to go here in the water pile, and I have this feeling that a lot of our significators are going to be here. And well, let's just start with that reflection. And it's on the bottom of the pile. So why am I saying that? Well, a couple days ago when I did the first reading, this is where the wheel card was. The wheel card was at in this pile of water. And yes, that's a pile of emotion. But I want you to really think about this energy of emotion as energy in motion, E-motion. with the energy of the wheel and the turning of the wheel, it is so important that we embrace this fluidity. And I love that these first few readings here are going to be in the energy of the full moon. I just feel that there's a real dynamic presence of planetary conversation going on right now. And the universe, spirit, wants us to be letting go a little bit so we can allow ourselves to feel more guided. And that is always a very, very good thing. Okay. Okay, so this card was on the bottom of the pile, the significator. So I'm going to lay out the cards. I have to wrap around and start from the top of this pile. And I will turn over the first card, which is Seven of Pentacles. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to turn over these ones here. Ace of Water and the Priestess. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to share my reading approach with you. I'm going to share the message for this number for the year ahead, and just really take my time with these readings this year. Okay. And I will hold up cards as I'm talking as well too, so you can get a closer look if you're not familiar with this deck. It is early, not so early morning. It is just after 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the dark by candlelight, so there's a lot of shadows. So thank you for your understanding. Okay, so I just want to reflect on this. First of all, why did I choose this deck? I've been really thinking about the grace and the elegance that is Venus in Libra. And it's funny, I've been watching a lot of figure skating shorts on Facebook. I started watching them, so they're coming up on my feed. And many of you know that one of my daughters was a competitive figure skater and coach. And so I have a love of that sport. And it's changed. It's really changed recently. It's lost some of its grace. It's lost some of its elegance because of the points that one receives for athleticism. And so the number of elegant spins and the beauty of connecting footwork, things like that, have become less and less. And there's just something about, and I also mention this because the Justice card in Mel Moline's Tabula Mundi is one of my favorite Justice cards, in that there is a figure skater here and there are musical notes on the page, and there's just something about this carving of a path of grace and beauty. So I want you to think about this turning of the wheel for yourself and this connection of justice to all of these beautiful concepts. This path that I carve is one. Let my intention for this path that I carve as the wheel turns through 2026 be one of grace and beauty. Let me honor precision. Let me take time to practice. If it is not me who is performing these beautiful skills, then let me really be in the awness, the humbleness of those that do, and listening to the beautiful melodies of a symphony, the grace of a sunrise, the magic of a sunset, wherever you find this beauty in the world. And so one of the reasons I chose this deck, I find it is just really, really beautiful. Now, I love that the High Priestess has shown up here for you. And we also have the Root of Water, the Ace of Water. So there's this deep and powerful connection to the pile in which this card appeared. This is a year where honoring flow, learning to let go and truly be in the wisdom of the wheel, which is one of allowing oneself to be guided, is really, really important. Just take a big breath there. What is one thing that I can do to let go and release control a little bit? And I think the first card has a bit of a message for us. Now, the bee is here. I don't know if the bee is ascending or repairing this wobbly, I'm going to call it a nukshuk, this pile of standing stones. It takes time. It takes time to, there's also succulents a lot in this deck, and I think we can learn something from the journey of succulents and how slowly they grow, and yet when they are cared for in just the right way, they're so beautiful. And if you've ever seen flowering succulents, it's just amazing. 7 also taps us into the Venusian connection. So Libra ruled by Venus. This is a Venusian decan. Now the decan of this particular card also has a powerful feminine connection in that it is Binah, Saturn, which is the home of all of the queens on the tree of life, the waters of the great mother. So there's a lot of feminine energy here. And with having the Ace of Cups as well too, I feel like this is the kickoff of this year, is to really perhaps rethink your relationship with flow, your relationship with water, your relationship with your emotions, and understanding them as energy that, if it is allowed to move, will serve you much better. The High Priestess is the card of the moon. And so perhaps one of the simplest ways to start this year off is to really do something to increase your awareness and knowledge of lunar cycles. Perhaps setting yourself up for the first new moon of 2025 and starting a routine on that day, maybe starting a particular diary on that day and tracking your choices, tracking your lifestyle, tracking your blood moon cycle, and beginning something in that first new moon of 2026. Or perhaps waiting till the second one, which is the Lunar New Year in a lot of cultures. The more that we move and are aware of the natural flow of nature's cycles, the easier our life truly becomes. And the High Priestess does not move quickly, nor does the 7 of Wands. The Ace of Cups, I feel, is here as an invitation for you. So when I kind of put all this together, this is a big ask. This is a big ask of you to really find a way, and maybe even literally getting a chalice, a vase of some sort to put on your altar, so that you really have a look and a reflection about the waters as you start your day. Okay, let's carry on. Let us carry on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. King of Cups. You know, it's a beautiful King of Cups card. I keep want to say 10 of diamonds. It says 10D, 10 of discs. So here is, I feel like these are such fulfilling cards that are showing up here for you. Rich. They're very, very rich. They're very wise. And so I want to say to you also to trust in your inner knowing. And when I emphasize the importance of, what can I do? What little thing can I do today to release control? What little thing can I do this month to release control so that life flows more easily? When I look at this King of Cups, even this King of Cups, who is a mighty and powerful energy, here is really sort of embracing the waves, embracing the tide, embracing the flow of energy. The King of Cups is wise. They know they can't fight water. Ease. Allow. These words are really important to you. So find ones that work for you and create some intentions. How can I create ease in this week? What can I do? I wish this was my card for the year. What can I do to? I'm thinking that even getting, if you are near the coast, so getting the tide schedule as a bookmark on your computer or on your phone, being aware of the tides. Like quite literally, it's something that I have because when I do go down to the beach with my dog, in the summer I don't mind if it's a high tide because I can go barefoot. But in the winter, it's much easier if the tide is a little bit lower. So being aware of the tides, I don't know, it might be a funny thing to do, but it is all of these watery actions we can take. So we learn to not fight with water. And if we focus on the external water, the internal waters will have a much easier time. The 10. So you have a 10 here. This is your first 10. 10 of Pentacles. This is a Virgo card. There's a lot of mercurial energy in this card, but also as a 10. And it's a really interesting 10 because it does also reflect the 10 of Cups in that it is one of those, it's a receptive ending card. It is one of the turning of the tides cards. And I'm sure many of you know that image of the man and the woman sort of passing. It reminds me of that expression, what's that expression? Ships in the night. It feels like that couple, that's exactly what they are. They're passing each other. They're passing. They know that this is something is shifting here in the energy of their home. And in this 10, so there's also something really cool about this 10 here. With all the mercurial energy in this card, I'm not going to go into that, but if this is a wonderful card to study through a Golden Dawn perspective. There's a lot of Hod in this card. And your first card was a very feminine card. And I think Mercury and Venus, just the divine feminine in general, and Mercury, they it's a nice dance. It's a really nice dance. And I think this is also, it is a reminder to make good decisions, to think things through, but also realizing indeed that I think of the discs, right? There's a lot of discs in this card. The whole tree of life is present. This is really acknowledging a cycle that is coming to a completion. So with having that Ace of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Discs in your reading, there's really no denying that you are moving on, And this could be quite turbulent for you. It could be quite, it's going to stir up a lot of things. It's going to stir up digestive juices. It's going to stir up something in your blood, right? Think of all the liquids in your body. So this is an opportunity to be aware of how you are going to balance all of those things. The internal fluid, right? So that is affected by your relationship with the external waters, the moon, the tides, and so forth. How does this is really nice. You've got 7 and 7 of discs and 8 of discs kind of right across from each other. And this is a card that showed up in the wheel reading as well. 8 as an energy of the lemniscate flow, shifting and changing. 8 balancing 7. So you have 7 of D, 7 of discs, and 8 of discs kind of across from each other, reflecting each other. That what this patience gives, what this dedication gives, what this... so another key word, what is her key word? It's patience. Another key word I find that is really useful for 7 of discs, 7 of pentacles is, I don't know if it's a key word, it's more of a thought here. So less micromanaging. And maybe you have children. And I know that parenting these days is, the micromanagement is just excessive. It really is. And this is something too you can begin to observe if you are a parent. Even if you are a parent of adult children. Maybe you are a parent to your parents. How can you reduce micromanagement? And this, what I'm talking about here is, they have their own lives. They have their own mistakes to make. They have their own paths to carve. You do not need to control everything in their lives. This is such an important card, 8 of discs, in that maybe what we are leading towards is your truth, and what this Justice card is revealing for you is that by letting go, by allowing yourself to be guided, you will find yourself back at a place doing what you do and what you love, not doing so much for others. Prioritizing your own feelings, prioritizing your own needs and your own emotions. One of the things about doing a large card reading is that if I were doing this reading for myself, at this point, I would pause and I would come back and finish this tomorrow, because there's a lot to digest here. And that's one of the reasons I don't turn over all the cards at once. I don't think it's possible to build the story as thoroughly if you turn over all of the cards. And so this might be enough for you. And in previous years, I have stopped at a certain point and then come back and done a part 2 for members only. I'm not doing that this year. I just need to sort of stay in the flow. But this is, I think this is really important to think about the Justice card as adjusting the scales, finding harmony, finding balance. Keywords for this card, right? It's not just justice, it's adjustment, it's karma. Balance is another word. I'm thinking of other decks that have different keywords for this one. So all of these shifts and checks are about your own health and wellness. Knight of Discs, which goes beautifully with this card. Three of Wands. The Knight of Discs also looks back and sort of reflects on everything that I've said, reflects on these important connections. And I feel like the Knight of Discs, so you have quite a few discs here, right? Disc, 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 disc. You got discs and water. This is a very receptive reading. This is your first active card, Three of Wands here. And so I feel like this is also a message of how important really learning this is, how important taking your time is. It is, there are baby steps, there are mini skills that need to be mastered. You do not have to figure this out by the end of January. You could use Three of Wands as a marker, as an intention for a certain something. I mean, the Three of Wands is a beautiful card. This is Sun in Aries. This looks ahead a little further to the spring. And perhaps that is something that you could look forward to. And I think all of this receptive energy is going to need some fire as well, too. You otherwise are going to get overwhelmed by all of this water. Thank goodness your significator has the air that will help dry up a little bit of this. And also, you know, when I think of justice, I think also of the Queen of Swords and how just how great she is. You know, she's just so focused and wise. So look, so you're moving through. The reason you are moving through all of this is because there's something new. There's something new to create. There's something new to create. And I feel like there's a important connection here between the Eight of Discs and the Three of Wands. In order to understand how you will go forward, it's necessary to go back. Oh, that's nice. So we have a receptive ace and an active ace. This is the Ace of Swords. And the Four of Wands. So the Three of Wands and the Four of Wands, which is such a lovely, harmonious card. With Venus in Aries, it really speaks to how important balance is for you of your receptive, divine feminine self, and not turning away from your active, Happy New Year, not turning away from your active self, right? So the Four of Wands, I think, Okay. Your priority is in allowing your Venusian self, your feminine self, the waters of life to inform, to be a way of allowing life rather than controlling life. There's a new direction that your divine feminine self is taking, and it's going to help you to trust and find your way. It's going to be something, it's going to help you to move differently. And all this emphasis on water is shifting something for you. So I was talking about what can you do to lessen control, micromanaging, right? That's a very fiery sort of energy. It's very controlling kind of energy. So this is a year for you of balancing that. Maybe more delegation. We can't have, and this is a lovely expression here. I'll talk a little bit about this Four of Wands. Perfected work is the key word. Why? Why is that? Well, when Venus shows up, when the divine feminine shows up in a strong masculine sign, it really shows how powerful she is. And I love that this is sort of the 10th card. And so by exploring 2026 through more, skewing more divine feminine, you're going to learn how to balance and, it's like you want to let your divine masculine shine because your divine feminine is so strong. 11, right? 11, these scales, this refinement process. One of the words I suggested on earlier was where I mentioned was beauty. And this can also, all of this feminine energy can be amplified by honoring your beauty, your self-care. What if you identify as masculine, heterosexual masculine? Well, that I think is a beautiful message for you as well too, in that it kind of gives you permission perhaps to honor your partner and learn through your partner, maybe respecting your partner in a new way and allowing your partner's divine feminine self to shine. And then giving yourself permission. I mean, I joked yesterday, I was driving to the city with my partner and I was looking at his cuticles, and there was some dried blood in one of them, and they were just awful. And I said, "You need a manicure." I wasn't joking. Never takes care of his hands, and that's something that a lot of guys don't do. And it's important to look after yourself. Beauty is not just about that superficial layer, right? It's a kindness, it's a lovingness to self. And I'm thinking about you, right? Cisgender, masculine, male. This this could be coming through for you in the, or or even some of my colleagues who feel like female colleagues who feel like they have to be tough all the time. And they can't lean into the strength of their femininity. And so I think this is a really important change and a shift for you. That's your biggest lesson in 2026 is cultivating more balance and harmony through honoring your divine feminine self. Okay, so if you have other questions or comments, please feel free to come back and leave a question or a comment below, and I can review this reading at any time. And I want to wish you a beautiful road ahead through 2026, and know that there's different ways to view this, right? We can sort of really pick up this energy with the first new moon cycle or the second new moon cycle of 2026. I feel like we're still very much in a phase of dissolving 2025. Yeah, so blessings to you all. Take good care. Namaste.